Samhain is not just a night for spirits of the dead, but a time when darker, ancient forces are said to roam freely. The folklore of this night often mentions creatures far more terrifying than wandering souls. And for those who study demonology, the veil between our world and theirs is at its thinnest. What is often overlooked in modern times is that Samhain is not just about ghosts or ancestral spirits. It's a time when malevolent beings, long forgotten in the shadows, find their way into our world. The Celtic lore surrounding Samhain is filled with entities that defy simple categorization. The Fomorians, for instance, were a race of dark and monstrous beings who predated the Tuatha De Danann in Irish mythology. Their connection to Samhain is not coincidental. The night was seen as chaos, when creatures like the Fomorians could emerge from the shadows. These beings were not mere figures of myth, but representations of forces that sought to upend the natural order. In the view of many demonologists, these creatures align with the concept of demons in later Christian thought, beings whose purpose is to instill fear, disrupt, and destroy. But the Fomorians were not the only beings that posed a threat on Samhain. Another prominent figure is Arawn, the ruler of Annabyon, the Welsh Otherworld. Annabyon was not a paradise, but a mysterious realm where dangerous, supernatural beings resided. Arawn was often associated with the Wild Hunt, a spectral procession of demonic hunters who rode the skies on Samhain, capturing the souls of the unwary. The Wild Hunt is an omen of death and disaster, and those who witness it are said to be doomed. To demonologists, Arawn's spectral riders are not merely folkloric beings, but a manifestation of the darker forces that thrive during Samhain's chaotic transition. It's easy to see why Samhain became a night of dread. The Aosi, often euphemistically referred to as the fairy folk, are anything but benevolent. These ancient beings are believed to be descendants of the Tuatha De Danann, cast into the otherworld when the Celts arrived in Ireland. On Samhain, they return. The Aosi are powerful and capricious, much closer to demons in nature than the harmless sprites they become in modern stories. On Samhain, offerings were left at doorsteps to appease wandering ancestors and protect against these vengeful entities' wrath. In demonology, these beings could be compared to the lesser demons that tempt, mislead, and, if angered, torment human beings. Beyond the Celtic realms, many cultures tell stories of demons and creatures who find power during Samhain or similar festivals. In Norse mythology, the Draugr, undead beings filled with rage and envy, were believed to rise from their graves during the long nights as winter approached. Samhain marks the beginning of this darker season when such malevolent creatures are at their strongest. These Draugr, though not demons in the traditional sense, possess the same characteristics of malevolence and hunger for the living, aligning them with the more demonic figures from other traditions. Another demon closely tied to Samhain is the Puka. The Puka is a shapeshifter, often taking the form of a black horse, and is known for leading travelers astray on dark, foggy nights. The Puka's behavior on Samhain is especially vicious. It spoils crops, destroys property, and leads people into dangerous situations. This being is not interested in mere trickery. Its goals are malevolent. It thrives on the fear and uncertainty of Samhain, feeding off the energy of the night. The Morrigan, often seen as a goddess of war and death, also became prominent during Samhain. Her role, however, is far more aligned with the demonic than the divine. The Morrigan is not merely a deity who oversees death, she delights in it. She is associated with ravens, creatures long linked to death and the aftermath of battle. On Samhain, the Morrigan is said to roam the battlefields, collecting the souls of the dead. Her connection to demonic forces lies in her hunger for chaos and death. She doesn't bring closure, she brings carnage. In modern demonology, the spirits and creatures of Samhain are seen as far more than mere myth. Many believe that the night itself serves as a kind of signal flare to demons and dark entities. It's a time when rituals to summon and bind these forces are most likely to succeed. There are countless reports of heightened paranormal and demonic activity during Samhain, ranging from possessions to unexplainable acts of violence. Some demonologists argue that the beings that cross over during Samhain are not limited to Celtic myth, but are part of a larger global phenomenon, dark entities waiting for the right moment to strike. The fear that surrounds Samhain is not merely about the dead. It's about those ancient and dangerous forces that thrive on chaos, death, and destruction. These beings are opportunists, lurking just beyond the veil, waiting for the moment when the barrier between their world and ours weakens. Samhain is that moment. Demons, creatures, and forces that have haunted humanity for millennia stir during this time, slipping through the cracks of reality and into the night. Those who understand their nature know that Samhain is not just a festival, it's a warning. What do you think is the most terrifying creature associated with Samhain, and why? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed exploring the dark lore of Samhain, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content.